And America can no longer afford Democrats. The Cost to the Culture edition. That's the latest installment in our ongoing series in tonight's preamble. As stated, we have had several recent preambles that demonstrate that the cost of having a Democrat Party in America, a party dedicated to eradicating our constitutional protections and prosperity, well, that cost is too high. The conservative movement remains the last bastion of hope at thwarting the socialist designs of the Democrats. Too many in the Republican Party have surrendered. Just listen to Socialist Senator Murphy describe the level of cooperation he's getting from some Republicans as the Democrats gear up to steal your Second Amendment right of self-defense.
So I've never been part of negotiations as serious as these. There are more Republicans at the table talking about changing our gun laws and investing in mental health than at any time since Sandy Hook. Now, I've also been part of many failed negotiations in the past, so I'm sober-minded about our chances. We are talking about a meaningful change in our gun laws, a major investment in mental health, perhaps some money for school security.
Oh, I see. Perhaps some money for school security. Now, the loss of your rights, they are all but assured. But Senator Murphy and his Republican collaborators just might consider protecting our kids, too. Well, fat chance on that. Joe Biden has already said he doesn't believe in hardening our schools against attacks.
When it comes to schools, and I don't know what he said specifically about schools. I know there's been conversation about hardening schools. That is not something that he believes in.
Well, as stated, the GOP is on board with the abandonment of our constitutional right of self-defense. Two senators who are out in front on this betrayal, Senators John Cornyn of Texas and Mitch McConnell of Kentucky, are grabbing most of the headlines. Both men will not face voters anytime soon. And that's why the identities of the other GOP collaborators are being suppressed by the media, a media that is all too happy to protect Republicans who seek to steal rights from we, the people. Senator Lindsey Graham, who will also not face voters for a while, is working with Democrats to hammer out red flag laws that feature the removal of another right we Americans may soon lose, the right of due process. Right now, the government has to prove wrongdoing before government can legitimately take away your rights. Under red flag laws, due process is thrown out the window. Isn't it odd that as America is set to reject the Democrat socialism in a forecasted red wave election, that so many Republicans are now rushing to make the case that the GOP is equally as bad for America? Perhaps this is an effort to avoid an election that completely destroys the Democrats as a legitimate national party. Isn't it odd that so many in the Republican Party have no wish to defeat Democrats, but rather are trying to throw the party of our nation's destruction a lifeline? The Republicans supporting the imposition of red flag laws assures totalitarianism, a corrupt government, and zero accountability for those in power. Speaking of no accountability, check out what's being pushed on our kids. Democrats refuse to protect their lives, but they are all about pushing perversion on them. And another example of division, the left put on an event where drag queens perform for little children. The event was called Drag the Kids to Pride event. Andy No, a gay man who has had the crap kicked out of him by intolerant left-wing Antifa terrorists, said of this event that, quote, "It was held at the Mr. Gay Bar and Club. Children and transvestites danced in front of an electric sign that read, quote, 'It's not going to lick itself,' end quote." I want to stress that this child abuse didn't happen in California. This child abuse didn't happen in Portland, Oregon. This child abuse happened right here in my home state of Texas. From Texas, we go to Iowa. The school district that runs Ankeny High School claims this was an unauthorized assembly. But this is the kind of thing that's a regular occurrence in GovEd these days, where the insane run the asylum. That was all transgender stuff. Since the United States is suffering massive food shortages and price hikes, Joe Biden and his team are paying farmers not to grow food. as political rights. Your budgets are being busted and food shortages created in an effort to, quote, save the planet. Apparently, Joe Biden wants to save the planet from all of you. Why else would a left-wing administration pay farmers with your tax dollars to not grow food during a food shortage? So let's review. In an effort to combat crime, Joe Biden and the GOP are targeting the law-abiding. As the Democrats focus on killing children in the womb, they are failing at feeding children with a baby formula crisis, educating our children by being focused on perverting children's minds, and they oppose keeping children alive in schools by securing campuses from attack. And in an effort to solve record gas prices, Democrats are taking American energy offline. Why not? In related news, Democrats say the best way to fix a flat tire is to change your oil. It's so bad, it's so ridiculous that Socialist-Democrats don't want armed guardians in schools protecting your kids, but they do want drag queens. Just another example of how America can no longer afford Democrats.